Number 12 says solve the triangle, which means find all angles, find all side lengths. So we need to solve that using the information on here. So it says angle N is 118 degrees. Make sure you're plugging these in. It's going to be really hard to do this if you're not labeling things or if you're not putting in the numbers where they're labeled. Angle P is 33 degrees. Angle M, we don't know angle M. We know side length M. Side length M is 15. We don't know what the unit is. Doesn't really make a difference. The reason I started going ahead and saying angle M is because, well, that's the easiest thing for us to find. So since this is a triangle, all three angles, this angle here, and this angle over here, have to add up to 180. So to find the measure of angle M, we're going to take, well, we know they all add up to 180, and we're just going to subtract the other two angles. So we're going to subtract 118, and we're going to subtract 33. Once we subtract those, we get measure of angle M equals 29 degrees. So that already solves one part of it. Didn't have to do a whole lot of work there. For the rest of that, so again, this is 29 degrees. After that, we got to now find the side lengths. Now the law of sines says if I take the sine of one angle divided by its opposite side, that's going to be equal to the sine of another angle over its opposite side, which is going to be equal in turn to the side of the third angle over its opposite side. Now I'm going to use just the sine of M and the sine of P, or angles P and M right now, just so that we don't get too much confused. So let's go through and plug it in. So sine of M, so sine of 29 degrees all over side length M of 15 equals sine of P, so sine of 19 degrees, sorry, sine of 33 degrees over side length P. We don't know what side length P is yet. In order to solve this, we're going to go through and cross multiply and divide. So we got, when I cross multiply, I get P times the sine of 29 degrees equals 15 times the sine of 33 degrees. Now, yeah, we could go through, plug that into a calculator, and figure out exactly what that is, or actually not exactly, because it'd be a very rounded answer. Let's not do that until we absolutely have to. So in order to get side length P all by itself, we got to get rid of that sine of 29, so we're going to divide both sides by the sine of 29. And we're going to plug that into our calculator. We're going to end up with P equals 16.9, and we don't have a unit, so we're just going to leave it as is. So P equals 16.9. Now we're going to do the same thing to find side M, or sorry, side N. I'm going to do that down below here. So this is one part. We already did this part. Now to find side N, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to use side or angle M and N because we know those exactly. So angle M, so again, sine of M over side length M equals the sine of angle N over side length little n. Again, plugging in what we know. So we have the sine of 29 degrees over 15 equals the sine of angle N was 118 degrees over, we don't know what side length N is. Again, just like the last part, cross multiply. So I got N times the sine of 29 equals 15 times the sine of 118. Just like last time again, divide by the sine of 29 on both sides. We get N equals, where did my answer go? N equals 27.3. Again, rounding to the nearest tenth. We don't have units on there. Just make sure you're identifying all of the pieces that are missing.